When I was dating, I had multiple men wanting to marry me, and I'm going to tell you why. If we don't know each other, my name is Taylor Carr. I'm a dating and love expert, and I teach feminine energy, the empowering kind. Part of the reason why I ever even got into the feminine energy world is because I was so taken with the women of the past who knew how to get what they want from men. I'm talking about the famous seducers, the famous mistresses, the courtesans of the past. Even becoming so wildly interested in one of the most famous mistresses that there ever was in the Georgian era, who became a wife, which was like unheard of. Lady Hamilton. And when I started dating differently with the process that I now teach, I started off a little cold and a little rigid while I was feeling my way through the modern dating environment. And particularly as an American woman, I learned some really powerful things. And one of those things was the fact that most men deeply want to be called up and forward by women that they're crazy about. They don't want to actually get away with bad behavior. And so I started to deeply believe that. I had to change my internal beliefs about men. I had to change this idea that boys will be boys or men don't do those things anymore. I had to change this idea that, men don't really like women, or how angry I had become at men. And I had to adopt a brand new belief system that at the time I was like, this feels delusional, but I'm gonna give it a go. I dropped the anger and started deeply believing men love to provide and take care of me. Men live for women. Men will do anything for the love, the smile, the gratitude of a woman. And the more I began believing that, the more my life changed. You see, anger is part of the process of women unbecoming everything that they have learned from the past about men and relationships and anger and violence and all of these things. That's part of the process. But you can't stay there. So I started to just choose to love men as a whole. And with the belief that I make their day when they can do things for me. Everywhere I went, grocery stores, cafes, everywhere I went, men were just delighted to make my day better, my life easier in that moment. Now, when I say I had multiple men that wanted to marry me, I'm talking about really good guys. Successful men who had a great vision for themselves and just adored me. Not every one of them was my guy, and I was aware of that. Not every one of them I could be my full, goofy, silly, embodied, all of me Taylor self with. And I knew that I always wanted to end up with a best friend, someone who I could just be my full self with and be fully loved and appreciated and accepted for. So there was no settling in that department, but I continued to receive. And when my fiance and I started dating, we got engaged in 11 months. Now, this is a man who is my best friend. This is a man that would do anything to make my life better and does. This is a man who, if he could, he would move the moon for me so I could see it better from our bedroom window. This is a man who has given me the home of my dreams. And I didn't just become a stay-at-home wife. I'm getting married in 7 weeks from this video, by the way. I hold my business. I see my clients, and he's so supportive of everything that I do. This man is in the front seat of everything that I accomplish in my life, and he has never once tried to make me smaller. He just loves and adores me, and his whole life is lit up by making me happy and by making me softer and safer. It starts with the beliefs that we hold around men and what we think they are and aren't capable of. It starts with the anger that we hold towards men and just the complete contempt and disappointment. I understand that men of the world right now are being a little bit disappointing, but having to face the fact that we as women were also being a little bit disappointing by not actually calling men up and forward in a way that actually gets results. This is something women are not taught, but I'm teaching you this. And it is always going to start with a woman being empowered. If you're kind to men, it's because you've healed your shit, you trust yourself, and you actually want to be, not because you'd like to be picked or chosen or any of that. It's because you are I get to have a more peaceful life and I get to drop this to actually get results. And that's the thing about me, is that I am a woman who is focused on getting results in my life from a place of love, integrity, and kindness. I do not wobble on those values simply because the world state is whatever it is. I choose my reality.